I entered the abandoned house at 2:41 a.m., recording everything to prove the stories were just myths. The moment the door closed behind me, the air turned heavy and unnaturally cold. Every step echoed twice, as if something invisible was following me, perfectly in sync. The silence inside the house felt alive, watching, waiting. Upstairs, I found a child's room, where toys were arranged in a circle around an old tape recorder. It turned on by itself and played a child's voice, whispering my name. The walls began to darken and move, and soft whispers warned me not to move. That's when a tall, twisted shadow appeared, stretching across the ceiling in impossible shapes. The house changed around me, sealing every exit. The shadow moved closer without walking, and I realized it wasn't hunting me. It was learning me. My final words on the recording were a warning: never come here. The next morning, only my camera was found.
Every night at exactly 3:17 a.m., the knocking began. 3 slow knocks on my bedroom door, always from the inside of the house. I lived alone. At first, I told myself it was stress, old pipes, imagination. But the knocks never missed a night, and they grew louder, closer, more patient. One night, I opened the door. The hallway lights were off, but at the far end stood a figure that looked like me, smiling without blinking. It spoke in my voice and said it had been knocking for days, waiting for me to answer. The lights flickered, and I realized something terrifying. I was the one standing in the hallway now. The knocking continues every night. If you hear it at 3:17 a.m., don't open the door. It's already inside.
At 2:58 a.m., my phone vibrated with a message from an unknown number. It read, "Don't turn around." I was alone in my room, the door locked, curtains drawn. A second message arrived seconds later. "It's standing right behind you." I laughed nervously and checked the sender details. The number was mine. Before I could react, a third message appeared. "You can't see it because it's using your eyes." The room went silent, and my reflection on the dark phone screen blinked when I didn't. The final message came as the lights went out. "Now you're the one texting."
I work the night shift in a building where the elevator is programmed to skip the 13th floor. Everyone knows that. Tonight, as I rode down alone, the display flickered and showed 13. The elevator stopped with a soft chime, even though there was no button for that floor. The doors opened to a dark hallway filled with people standing perfectly still, all facing the elevator. None of them had faces. As the doors began to close, one of them stepped forward and placed a hand on the door, whispering, "You're early." The next morning, security footage showed the elevator stopping at the 13th floor for 6 minutes. I was never seen exiting.
I bought the old mirror because it was cheap and untouched, its surface dark and cloudy like it was hiding something. The first night, I noticed the reflection lagged behind my movements, breathing slightly out of rhythm with me. I told myself it was exhaustion, until the reflection smiled when I didn't. Each night, it moved closer to the glass, whispering things I'd never said out loud. Scratches appeared on the inside of the mirror, as if something were trying to get out. One morning, I woke to find the mirror empty, no reflection at all. Now, when I pass mirrors, I see something else behind my eyes. It's learning how to move my body.
The hotel clerk warned me not to enter room 404, but curiosity always sounds like courage at night. Inside, the walls curved unnaturally, with no corners, no shadows, just smooth, pale surfaces that made the room feel endless. The door locked behind me on its own. My reflection in the window didn't match my movements. It stayed still, watching as the wall slowly began to pulse like a heartbeat. A voice filled the room, calm and patient, saying, "Corners are where reality hides." By morning, room 404 was empty again. Guests still complain about knocking from inside, but the hotel insists the room has never been occupied.
Every night at exactly 2:12 a.m., my bedroom door opens a few inches. I never hear it, only notice it when the air turns cold and the room feels crowded. From the gap, a shadow stretches across the floor, stopping just short of my bed. One night, I gathered the courage to look. The hallway was empty, but the shadow was still there, darker than the darkness around it. A whisper rose from the floor beside me, slow and amused. "You weren't supposed to see me yet." Now the door doesn't open anymore. The shadow appears inside the room, closer each night, waiting for the moment I finally fall asleep.
I found the staircase by accident, hidden behind a metal door in the basement that had never been there before. It led downward, far deeper than the house should allow. Each step creaked like it was being used for the first time in years. At the bottom, I heard voices, my family's voices, calling my name, begging me to come closer. When I realized they were repeating the same sentences perfectly, I understood they weren't really them. The air grew warmer, thick with breathing that wasn't mine. I ran back up, slamming the door shut behind me. The next morning, the basement was normal again, but some nights I hear footsteps climbing the stairs, slowly, patiently, remembering the way.
During a blackout, my old TV turned on by itself, just static at first, filling the whole room. Then I saw it, a face forming between the flickering lines. It looked unfinished, like it was still learning how to be human. And then it started mouthing my thoughts before I even had them, smiling wider every time it got one right. Words appeared on the screens, almost clear, like the static got louder, closer, like it was leaking out of the TV. When the power came back, the screen went black. But now in complete silence, I can still hear the static behind my eyes.
I take the same late-night bus home every day. It's always empty, except for one seat in the back that no one ever uses. Tonight, the bus stopped where there was no stop, and someone got on. He sat in the last seat and stared straight ahead, his reflection missing from the window beside him. As the bus moved, the lights dimmed and a message appeared on the digital board. "One passenger will not get off." The man slowly turned and smiled at me. The bus is still moving. Every stop passes by without opening the doors.
I noticed it one night while lying in bed, my name, scratched into the ceiling above me. The letters were uneven, deep, and fresh, as if someone had carved them while I slept. I checked the attic the next morning. It was empty. Each night, a new word appears beside my name, slowly forming a sentence only I can read. Last night, it said, "Don't look up." I made the mistake of looking anyway. Now the ceiling is blank and something is breathing above me, learning how to spell.
At 4:02 a.m., my phone played a voice note I didn't remember recording. It was my voice, whispering urgently, telling me not to trust the room and not to turn on the lights. I was alone, wide awake, holding the phone in my hands. Another voice note followed, longer, calmer, explaining that something had learned how to sound like me. Darkness was the only place it couldn't fully exist. The final note ended with a soft warning. If you're hearing this, it already knows your voice. The phone screen went black. When it turned back on, the recording app was open, listening.
I noticed the extra window on my bedroom wall at midnight. It hadn't been there before, but it showed the street outside perfectly, quiet, empty, familiar. When I looked closer, I saw myself standing outside, staring back up at the glass. I stepped away from the wall, and the figure outside smiled and raised a hand. A soft knock came from the window behind me. Then my bedroom door clicked open. The window is gone now, but something is still knocking, trying to get back inside where it belongs.
It started as a slow, uneven breathing sound coming from inside the walls, always stopping when I held my own breath. At night, the walls felt warm, pulsing gently like something alive was pressed against them from the inside. One evening, the breathing whispered my name, tracing it through the house, room by room. I tried to leave, but the front door wouldn't open, and the breathing grew louder, closer. The walls began to bulge inward, stretching toward me. Now the house is quiet, too quiet, and I can feel the walls breathing with me, waiting for me to breathe first.
I found an old photo on my phone, me asleep, taken from the corner of my bedroom. I live alone and never took it. Every few minutes, the photo refreshed, showing me in the same position, but closer to waking. In the latest version, my eyes were open, staring directly at the camera. A timestamp appeared beneath it. Next update, 02:11 a.m. I checked the time. It was 2:10. The photo hasn't updated again. I'm afraid to sleep because I don't know what pose it's saving now.
After a late shower, I stepped into the bathroom and saw words written in the fogged mirror. I'm still here. I wiped it away, laughing nervously, but the steam reformed the message, this time adding my name. That night, every mirror in the house fogged at the same time, each showing a different part of a sentence. When I finally read it all, it said like you never left the bathroom. Now, no matter where I go, mirrors drip with steam, and someone keeps wiping them clean from the other side.